Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan. Welcome to the latest episode of our sports show. As you've probably been hearing on air, we've been previewing live for the last month or so about our upcoming documentary, Global Rugby Legends, My Life in Rugby, which we're looking forward to release now in the next week or two. And so far, we spoke to so many guests from the Northern Hemisphere countries, England, France, Italy, Wales, Ireland and Scotland. And we've spoken to renowned players as well from South Africa, Australia, New Zealand and Argentina. And our guest this evening was a Puma star. He represented his country on so many different occasions in terms of his rugby international career. In terms of Argentina, he's probably second capped Argentinian player of all time, joint cap with Felipe Contepone, just behind Austin Akrivi. He has played in more than 4 Rugby World Cups. He's captained Argentina 3 times. He made his debut versus Japan in 2005, and he's formed during the 2007 Rugby World Cup. Argentina is one of the players of the tournament. The one and only Juan Manuel Leguizamon. Played flanker, number 8. His club career, London Wasps, Stade Francais, Seattle and New York. And Juan, in terms of Argentinian rugby, when you started off, when you made your debut against 2005, were you coming into an Argentina team that was fairly strong at the time, that was fairly well developed? And did you feel from the offset it was easy to sort of feel your way up?
Hi, Jim. How are you? Thank you for inviting me. It's a pleasure for me to be here. I remember everything from that call when I received it about playing my first game against Japan. I remember it wasn't an international window, so the team for Argentina to play against Japan, we were a lot of young guys coming up because the clubs in Europe didn't release the main players for Argentina. So I remember playing that game with a bunch of young partners and mates, and we really enjoyed it. It was a great week. I remember every single moment from that week, and of course the game. And it was for me, it was a pretty special day and a pretty special week because, of course, we were like dreaming with that moment since we were little kids, and that day finally came, and yeah, I really enjoyed that day and that week, like pretty much. And as I said, today I'm 39, and I was 20 at that moment, or 21, and I remember every single moment of that week, and it was amazing.
And Juan, you started very off with an amateur club, your first sort of club, Santiago, sort of lawn tennis club in terms of Argentina. And where you sort of grew up in Argentina, was it a rugby sort of patch area? I know football, soccer is the main sort of sport in Argentina, with your Diego Maradonas and your players of that caliber throughout the generation. And I imagine nearly 95% of Argentinian children growing up that time wanted to be Zepes or Maradona or Ozzy Ardiles or players of that sort of caliber. So in terms of the rugby sort of stronghold, I say it's patched in special areas around Argentina. And did you grow up in one of those particularly rugby zones in Argentina?
To be honest, I live in Santiago, which is in the north of the country. It's very close to Tucumán, which is a city where they play a lot of rugby. In Argentina, it's important to know that the rugby is amateur. So in the whole country, we play amateur rugby. And of course, in Buenos Aires, the main city, we have a lot of clubs and a lot of players and a lot of teams. I am from the north of Argentina. My province is a small province with, in that moment, we had like 3 or 4 clubs, only 3 or 4 clubs. And but next to my place, there is this place called Tucumán, which is a very well-known place for rugby. And but to be honest, my town, it wasn't like a rugby town, you know. But our club, it was a very passionate club. My family, my father, I played with my father and my brother in the same team. We played together, which is a very good memory. And then my cousins, uncles, and friends, we had a very passionate team and club. And I grew up there, and since I was a little kid, I don't know, 4 years old or 5 years old, and I was like running with the ball since then. But yeah, the thing is, our town, it wasn't a rugby town. Of course, in Argentina, you have football everywhere, soccer everywhere. So, but yes, yeah, and like my passion for rugby started very soon. As I said before, my dad was playing, all my cousins and friends and my uncles as well. Of course, my brother was playing too. So it started very, very soon.
And I suppose, Juan, you mentioned that amateur ethos, and obviously when you sort of grew up through your earlier years, rugby was an amateur sort of sport in Argentina. You mentioned that, and even the global game, rugby only turned professional in the sort of late 90s and sort of such in terms of that. So, and even then, probably the money wasn't great in terms of what it was until what it is now today. So in terms of, you play with Jaguars, you played most of your club career there before you decided to make the move across to London Irish. And was that to test yourself in a sort of different environment, to go outside and for Argent be one of those sort of first Argentinian sort of players to make his way onto the Northern Hemisphere, and obviously maybe bring all your experiences then to bring it back to Argentina and bring it back to the Argentinian setup and make the Argentina as an international team better? Do you feel 5 or 6 of you as the most experienced Argentinian players that it would be a good choice for you to go to Europe and that would reap the rewards for the Argentina, for the national team?
Yes, I think it was a very like big move for me, because I went from my town, from the north of Argentina. I came to Buenos Aires. I played here of course in an amateur club for 2 years. And playing in that club in Buenos Aires, I had my first call to play with Argentina, with Japan in 2005. And straight after that game against Japan, we played this game against the British and Irish Lions in 2005 in Cardiff. So straight after that game, I received the call from London Irish, and of course that my passion and my dream was to play for Argentina. And here, as we have an amateur rugby in our country, it was very important for us to if we had the chance to go to Europe, I don't know, England, France, Ireland, Wales, Scotland, or whatever. It was important for us to go there and keep growing our game, you know, individually, to then come to the national team, if we were doing well in our clubs. So when I received the call from London Irish, I was 21, 2021, and it was like a big move for me. I had to think about it like really carefully, because I was going from my country to a different culture, different country, and of course that my dream was to play professionally. So that was like my head and my mind was in that direction. But at the same time, as I was pretty young, it was a hard decision to leave my family, my friends, my club, my rugby in Argentina, to go and chase that dream. But at the same time, it was hard, but at the same time it was easy, because of course that my dream and my target and my objectives were to play for Argentina, and it was important for us, the Argentinian players, to go to Europe and keep growing our game and keep learning and keep improving and everything.
I suppose one as well, we have to look at the person as well. You're over there as a 21-year-old. You're playing an amateur sport as a pastime. You probably have a job at that stage as well, in terms of a 9 to 5, Monday to Friday job. Probably have a girlfriend at that sort of time as well, in terms of that sort of scenario. So there's all those sort of personal stages, because you're not moving from one part of the country to another part of the country. You're not moving from, say, Argentina to Brazil. You're moving continents in terms of that sort of scenario. So were your parents big concerned, saying, well, he's got a good job in Argentina now, he's leaving this sort of job with financial sort of benefits, going over to pursue a career? What happens if he gets a bad injury or something like that? In terms of that, was there always to be, and obviously you were trying to probably work your way up as a businessman as well in your home country as well. So did you have to curtail any professional ambitions that you might have outside of rugby and put them aside?
To be honest, it's good what you're saying, but for like as I said before, my target was playing for Argentina. I was very, very obsessed with rugby in that time. I'm still that, but in that time I was like obsessed with Argentina, with the Pumas, with dedicate myself to play rugby, to improve my condition, my rugby, to keep growing and learning. And at the same time, it was a massive opportunity for me to know a different culture, to have the chance to live in a different country, different, I don't know, language. So everything was positive for me. Of course, my family and my parents probably more. They were like, they had their concerns, but my dream was to do that. I was chasing that, and from one day to another, I got this call, and my decision, even if it was a bit harder because I was young, it was easy at the same time, because I was going to a great club in London, London Irish. It was, as I said, always, it was my first professional club, and I enjoyed every single moment. I was there for 3 years. I played there for 3 years. I played in an amazing team, amazing environment. Everyone was great, like very nice guys, teammates. The people working in the club was amazing to me, and I'm very grateful for that, because it was my first club, as I said before, professional club, and I was like, from one day to another, I was training 3 times a day, every single day of the week, playing in these big stadiums with a lot of people around, and people shouting or cheering, and I was living the dream. So of course, I remember my first month in London, I was like a bit confused, like, what am I doing here? Am I doing right or not? But straight after this three weeks period, I said to myself, this is what I want, living rugby this way and enjoying every moment, keep learning and keep growing and playing in these amazing stadiums and with these wonderful people. So I really enjoy every single day in London Irish. Then, of course, I went to Paris for 4 years, and then I went to Lyon for another 4 years. And then after all that, I came to play for Jaguares. So I've been in Europe for 10 years, 10 amazing years. I am very grateful for having that opportunity in every club. So yeah, I cannot be more grateful.
I suppose, Juan, I'll take you on to that 2007 Rugby World Cup. You made your debut against 2005, and obviously it was a good World Cup for Argentina in terms of 2007. And did you go there, maybe, did you see yourselves as dark horses? Did you go with that sort of mentality on the day we were a match for anyone in terms of, and did you feel that maybe that you were sort of overlooked, the team sort of overlooked you at times in terms of your capabilities, and you made them pay dearly for it?
Yeah, I think that year and that World Cup, the team Argentina, we were playing in. I remember we had a very good 2006, the year before, and then in the period before the World Cup, we played three good games as well, and then we developed, or the team developed a very strong group of leadership, having Agustin Pichot, Longo, Felipe Concepomi, and a lot of these guys. And I think this is one of the reasons why we did what we did in this World Cup, because of the level of leadership we had in the team. And yeah, probably people didn't think that Argentina were going to do well, but we were like very convinced that we worked really hard before this World Cup, and as a group, as a team, individually, collectively, and we were very sure about what we were capable of. So as you said, probably a lot of people were thinking Argentina, nah. But yes, we were like really convinced, and as I said before, one of the main reasons were this group of leaders that guide us to what we did.
I suppose you would have faced Ireland many a times. Did you especially enjoy your encounters with Paul O'Connell every time you sort of clashed against Ireland and seeing Paul O'Connell opposite you and coming against?
Yeah, he's a wonderful player. He's amazing. I didn't play that many times against Ireland. I'm trying to think how many times did I play against Ireland, but probably around 6 or 7 or 5 or 6, and every single time was very, very tough. Of course, at this time in France, 2007, we did it a bit better than Ireland. The team was like, I didn't play that game because I had a couple of concussions in the previous games, so I didn't play the game against Ireland. But yes, I think in that game, in that moment of the World Cup, the team was really strong already. And after, I don't know, after 4 games, because no, after 3 games, we won France, Georgia, Namibia, and then Ireland came. And I think in that moment, the team was like a solid team, mentally and physically as well. And we did a great game. But as I said before, every single time I played against Ireland, it was a very, very tough game with a lot of like amazing players like Paul O'Connell, of course, Brian O'Driscoll, Darcy, Hislip, I don't know, always a strong team in every area, in every aspect.
I suppose a few players I can think of have played in numerous World Cups. In terms of some players have played in 2 World Cups, some players have played in 3 World Cups. I think Richie McCaw from New Zealand, you can put yourself in that sort of category in terms of how many World Cups you've sort of played. You've played in 4 World Cups. It's a luxury for many players in terms of most players might get 2 or 3 within their cycle. To have 4, I know Richie McCaw's done it as well. To keep yourself at that level over 4 World Cups, 14, 16 year sort of period in terms of career, in terms of how challenging is that to be, and is there an awful lot of luck involved as well to stay injury free? Because some guys miss the World Cup due to injuries in between that. But were you sort of lucky in the timing of your injuries and they never really happened to you around World Cup time?
Yeah, is how lucky I am. Yeah. It was playing a World Cup is the best thing you can have in every sport, I think, no? But yeah, it's true that I was lucky with the injuries. I have my worst injury straight after my last World Cup last year, playing for New York. I did my ACL, but happily it never happened to me during the time with Argentina, because it's a tough injury with a long recovery, which is like probably 10 months, 11 months or whatever. But I am very grateful for having the chance to play for World Cups, to be with the team for World Cups, for 4 World Cups. Every single World Cup was amazing. One was better than the other one, like with a lot of beautiful details and everything. Of course, that the 2007 one was special because of what happened, but the rest of the World Cups were so amazing, like being picked with the team that were going to play the World Cup. Like, I don't know, for me it was, I am very grateful for having that chance. Of course, I work very hard to do my best, of course, but at the same time, I am grateful for having that chance and representing my country, my club in Argentina, my family, and everything. So it was amazing.
Juan, I just want to touch on a fellow sort of teammate for you in terms of the Argentinian jersey, and he's probably regarded at his time as probably one of the world's best in terms of his era as well. And you had the likes of Jus van der Westhuizen, who was scrum half for South Africa. You had the likes of George Gregan, who was scrum half for Australia. But Agustín Pichot for Argentina in terms of scrum half. You know him very well. He's probably a good friend. How good was he? Was he, and in his pomp, was he up there with Gregan and van der Westhuizen at that time in terms of his own ability?
Yes, of course. I would put him in that bag, 100%. He's like he's very complete. Like he can do everything, or he could. In that moment, he was amazing. Like he was the fittest guy. He was fast here, fast with the legs, fast with the hands, very clever on the ground. But the most important thing he had for me is the leadership. He was a leader. He was a leader from every single aspect, every single area, in every single point. He was thinking in 1,000 times things at the time. Like he was thinking about how you were with the family and about the attack system, and he was thinking about the physios and the players and the I don't know, the type of ball we were playing. Like he was amazing. So yeah, he's probably one of the most wonderful persons I had the chance to play with and to meet. So yeah, grateful for that too.
Yeah, and I suppose, Juan, in terms of your career, 87 appearances, says 65 points. And when someone says to you, like yourself and Philippe Conteponi, you shared the second giant appearances only behind Agustín Grieve, that's something that you start to cherish, to say to yourself, well, in the all-time list of Argentinians now, and even the likes of the great Juan Manuel Fernandez, who's playing in terms of French rugby at the moment, playing straight for Argentina. When you see players that caliber, and you see to yourself that yourself and Philippe are tied, and I suppose a good mate of yourself, Philippe, as well, would own here in Ireland for his time in Leinster rugby as well. To have that honour to be the second all-time cap appearances is something. Do you hold cherish, and you hope that will remain the second on the list for a good while to come yet?
To be honest, I don't really think about it. For me, of course, it is amazing to have the opportunity to play a lot of games and World Cups and test matches and tours and everything, because it's the main thing for an athlete or for a sportman. But I don't really have the number in my mind. It never happened to me. So for me, it was a consequence of what I was doing, or how I was preparing myself to play, to be consistent and to keep myself there playing and competing. So that was for me the most important thing, and the numbers and the quantity of the games or whatever, it wasn't really important. But yeah, of course, that is good to be in that list. But you know, now that list is changing, because now we have a lot of young guys coming. Pablo Matera, Nico Sanchez, Agustin Gravy, they are going up. So yeah, hopefully soon they will get to the 100, to the 100 games. So yes, we will be far behind.
And finally, Juan, before I let you go now, if you were to look in the mirror now and someone said to you, Juan Manuel Leguizamon in his prompt as a 26, 27-year-old in his second World Cup, say, for example, what sort of a teammate was he? What was he like as a person around the training field? What was he like a character? What was his main attribute that he brought to the team when he put on the Pumas jersey? What would you like to summarize him in 2 sentences if someone asked you what he was like?
To be honest, I always try to be a team player. That's what I learned in my at home with my parents. Of course, that we learn a lot since we were kids at home, and I had the chance to learn from my mother. So that's the main thing for me, being a team player, you know, putting the team always in front of everything. And I think I was that, apart from everything, like apart from running hard or jumping high or tackling or passing or on scoring tries. I think that's not important. I think from my point of view, being a team player is the most important thing for a player. So I think I would say that.
Okay. On that note, Juan Manuel Leguizamon, that is your story. That is your life in rugby and this turn of global rugby legends. Juan Manuel Leguizamon, who appeared for Argentina over 87 appearances, 65 points. He's played from 05 for the best part of 10 years, from 2005 onwards in Europe for London Irish, for Stade Francais, for Lyon, and in a time in America as well. He made his debut in 2005 versus Japan. He's got 87 appearances, 65 points. One of the only person from 2005 to 2019 to appear in 4 successive Rugby World Cups. Captained Argentina 3 times, and at the moment is ranked in Argentina all-time cap appearances as the second highest Argentinian rugby player, tied with Philippe Conteponi behind Augustin Grieve. Juan Manuel Leguizamon, thank you for your story today, and it's great to see you're a very passionate rugby fan, and we wish you and looking on as armchair supporter and Argentina and Puma all the best, Pumas, next year's Rugby World Cup in France.
Thank you very much. It was a pleasure, and hope to see you one day soon again.
Thank you.
Cheers. Thank you very much.
Thank you.